Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video I want to give you a few tips for how to spice up your open chords by doing these little hammer-on pull-off tricks on some of the most common open chords that actually kind of turn them into other chords, so you could kind of stay there, or you could just make them brief little embellishments, but they'll really bring your chords to life, and there's something that you could pretty much use at any time. Before we get into the lesson, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks, and if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to also tap the bell and let us know in the comments any new lessons that you'd like to see. That's always where we look to get ideas. All right, let's get into it. So let's say we have an A chord. We're just going to go through the alphabet in alphabetical order. So here's our basic A. So one thing we can do is hammer on between the open B string and the second fret of the B string. Right? So as I'm strumming, I could kind of go back and forth. Now what I end up doing is creating a chord called an A sus2 when I let go of that pinky, or if I'm using these three fingers, when I let go of the ring finger. I've got kind of fat fingers, so I tend to like to play the chord without the index finger, but sometimes depending, I change it up, right? So however you play it, or that's one of the tricks we could do. Now we could also go like this. So what I did there is I alternated between the second fret and the third fret, which goes from A to A sus4. So however you want to play that, here's a different angle. Now if you kind of pull off with the pinky or the ring finger, it's even louder, so you get this kind of, right? So and now you could do the same thing with an A minor. You can go back and forth between the three. The cool thing about sus2 and sus4, here it becomes a sus4, is that they go along with both minor and major. So anytime, whether it's a major or a minor, you can go with that open B string or that third fret on the B string. Or, all right, through the alphabet, but with open chords, let's go to the C chord. So here's the C chord. And one thing that's really nice to do here is to take that index finger and let go of it. And that makes it a C major 7. This works especially well in the key of C or in the key of G. In the key of C, that one chord, C major, sounds nice as a C major 7, and in the key of G, the C chord is the 4 chord, which also sounds great as a major 7. In the key of F, it won't really work, but when we're in open position, we're pretty much usually playing in the key of C or the key of G, even if we have a capo. Okay, the other thing to do is go from the first fret to the third fret, like this. And here's how that looks from a different angle. So I kind of use my pinky to almost pick off sometimes if I want it to really stand out. And again, I could use all three. So you can almost get these little melodies. Now let's say I went to the A. I could do the same thing. On both chords. Another thing with the C is we could add the G on the 3rd fret of the high E. So here's a regular C, and now I could add this G on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Cool, right? Another thing with the C is we could add the 2nd fret of the G string, like this. And that makes it a C6. And usually what I do when I play that note is I mute the, I just let that finger touch the D string, and then okay, the D chord, or D minor. Again, we can go from D to D sus4, and then D to D sus2. So when we go from 2nd fret to 3rd fret, that's sus4. 2nd fret to open, that's sus2. If we are doing D minor, we're going from D minor to D sus4 to D minor to D sus2. So here's how that sounds. And with minor, and again, I could kind of pick off to get that hammer-on pull-off sound. If you're bad at hammer-on pull-offs for now, that's okay. You can just add them without hammering them. Right, I'm not doing hammers and pulls in that regard. So on E minor, it's really nice to add the G, which is the 3rd of the chord. We're already playing it as the open G string. But if we play the high E string G, we just get one more of that note, which is a colorful note. Now it also sounds nice to add the 3rd fret of the B string to an E minor, which makes it an E minor 7. So right now I'm alternating between 3rd fret G string, 3rd fret B string. I'm using the pinky. You could use your 3rd finger if you're able to. I like the pinky better. Now from an E major chord, if we add that 3rd fret of the B string, it becomes an E7. G chord, lots we could do here. We could add the note C on the 1st fret of the B string. And that's just going to make it an add 11. I like the chord G6, where if we play this G, what I call the super G, we could let go of the pinky, and then it becomes a G6. Another thing I like to do if I'm playing this G, use my index to play the 2nd fret of the G string, which is the note A, which is the 9th. So then it's a G add 9. And just go back and forth. Nice, right? So these are all things that you might discover on your own. So I encourage you to just experiment with using any free fingers you have to add notes, take notes off, maybe let go of one note in the chord, see how it sounds. There's no rules in music. So whatever you think sounds good, that's the final word. Don't listen to anyone that tells you it's right or wrong. If you think it sounds good, that's what music creation is all about. you putting something into the world that you think is beautiful, or whatever effect you're trying to create. If you think you created that effect, that's your choice. What's cool though is to understand when you do create something, what it actually is. And then you'll start to see in music charts, oh, D sus4, right, I played that when I just added my pinky down. Now I know what that is. And now when I see that, I could play it, right? So whether you discover it on your own and then put a name to it, or you learn the name and then you get to know the sound, it all comes together eventually. But just wanted to give you some tips on how you could always add or subtract notes, create these little melodies within your chords by doing so. So I hope you have fun getting creative with this stuff. If you want to learn more about playing guitar, head over to guitartricks.com, where you could take sequential courses in multiple genres like rock, country, and blues, or learn all the fundamentals in the Fundamentals Level 1 and Level 2 course. And you could also access a library of song lessons with multiple videos, downloadable tab, and downloadable backing tracks. All right, everybody, happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.